Alright, good morning everyone.
Morning.
In today's lesson you're in for a real treat because today is the day you're going to learn how to calculate unknown angles in triangles. Now we're going to do this in two steps. First one, I'm going to show you how to deal with a trig equation and how to rearrange and solve. It's actually a little bit simpler than what we've been doing before. The second one, we're going to have a look at the application in a triangle. Once we complete this final learning intention, then you're going to have all of the skills to be able to do practical things in life, such as what we'll be doing next lesson. What are we doing next lesson? Well, I'll tell you next lesson. Okay, first thing, no, it's not a test. First thing, a random equation suddenly appeared. Oops. And it was defined as being, let's say, cos y is equal to, and this one was 13 over, and we'll say 25. So something like this appeared on the board. What we want to do is we want to rearrange and solve for the unknown. Now this one is more straightforward than what we've been doing before because it's a single operation. If we look at this, it's different from before because usually our unknown is in the fraction, but in this case it's in the cos function. Why is it there, Jackson? Just cos. Alright, now we want to be able to get access to the y. What we can do is we can employ something called the inverse trig functions. So if we have a cosine here, we're able to get access to the contents of the cosine by employing the inverse cosine. It's called the inverse cosine because it's got a -1 above the cos. It looks similar to our index laws, but don't make the mistake of thinking it's the same. It's slightly different. This is called inverse cosine, and when you get to senior years, you might call it arc cos. But for now, we'll just call it inverse cosine. This has the really great effect of going cos y is equal to inverse cosine of 13 over 25. Now when we do this, it looks like we made it more difficult, but we've actually simplified it because the inverse cosine and the cosine cancel each other out. So what we discover is that our y is equal to the inverse cosine of 13 over 25. So this guy over here is called inverse cosine. Now, next question is, well, how do we actually calculate this using our calculators? And lucky for you guys, again, it's not too bad. All we need to do is we need to go for our calculators as soon as we've got the expression as shown. Hopefully, if it fits, it sits. All right, that will have to do. Yep. Alright, what we want to do is we want to reach for our calculators, guys. And when we go for our calculator on the first calculation of the day, what do we press on our calculator? Reset. Always make sure you press the reset button, guys, because you don't know what the person before has done to it. Next, we have to go into the second layer on our calculator. To do this, we go second F. So this button here. Now, looking up, we've got sin, cos, tan. Normally we'd go for those, but we're in our second layer. We go for that one there. Have a look, it's got cos with that -1 above. That means inverse cosine. If yours just says cos, press the reset again, press second function and go inverse cos. Then, just as it's shown on the board, not quite just as it's shown, we're going to go 13 divided by 25 and then close it off. Because in green, that's what it would look like for the sharp calculators. We hit equals, and then what do we get, Ruby?
0.
Sorry? 0. Harris?
I got 58.66.
58.66. Paige?
58.66.
58.66. One more person?
58.
Noah's? In sync, please.
58.66.
Excellent. We end up getting 58.66. Did everyone get that result, guys?
Yeah. I actually
Yep.
got 58.66.
Okay, so we end up getting 58.66. So we'll say 58.7 because just round up. So long as you're getting roughly 58, that's what we're after. So, and it's degrees, because remember we're measuring an angle here. We have to put that degree symbol on it. Does anyone have any questions? So this is rearranging. This will be question 1 of what you're working on today. Now, the second set of questions that you could be asked to do with the application of this knowledge is suppose that a random triangle suddenly appeared. It was defined as having its right angle over here, and it had an unknown angle here. What was the letter we were using for this one, Sophie? S for Sophie. And then on the side lengths, what did we say this side length was, please, Ethan?
10 meters.
10 meters. And what did we say this side length was, please, Lucas?
9 centimeters.
9 centimeters. We'll go 7.9 meters. That looks all right. What we want to do is we want to discover the value of S. Now, whenever we see a triangle, what is the first feature we're looking for, Hunter? The
Angle.
The what sort of angle?
The right angle.
The right angle. We always identify the right angle because if we can't find the right angle, we can't go any further at this point in time. When you get to year 10, sure. But right now, you need the right angle. This one luckily has the right angle, so we draw the arrow down, and that tells us where the hypotenuse is. And the hypotenuse is the what side in the triangle? Starts with L. Paige?
Longest.
Longest. Hold on to that because it'll be in the test. After that, we look for our angle of interest, S. Opposite the angle of interest is our opposite side, and the final side left over is side A. Once we've got all of our information labeled, the next thing we do is we state what we have. We have theta, which is S. We have our opposite, which is 10. We have our adjacent, which is 7.9. They're meters, by the way. And we have our hypotenuse, but there's nothing there, so we delete it. So we always want to label our variables as theta, opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse in that order, because if we do it this way, we have an O and an A. What ratio do we use if we have the opposite and the adjacent, Harris? TOA. TOA, so tan. Now that we know which ratio we're using, we can build our equation. Tan theta is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Next step, we go for substitution. In place of theta, what will we write, Sophie? What will we write in place of theta? S for Sophie. You're on fire today, Sophie. Then, in place of O, what are we going to put, Hannah?
10.
10, and then in place of A? 7.9. Okay, we're posed with the problem where our unknown is inside the tan. How do we get access to our unknown in this case? What should we employ? Harris, you're on fire again today.
10 minus 1.
Ooh, 10 minus 1 or
Plus 1.
what does it say?
Inverse.
Inverse 10. We inverse 10 on both sides.
That's
We
the
all,
same, right?
no, if you say 10 minus 1, it means something very different. Something that we'd probably never do. So we get inverse 10 of 10s, which is the inverse tan of 10 over 7.9. And what happens when you do the inverse tan of a tan? What is the consequence here? Noah?
I can't reach it.
Yeah, excellent. They cancel each other out. Do you think we need to do this line here if they always cancel? Nah, not necessary, but if you want to, you're absolutely welcome to. So they cancel each other out. Now, since we've got S as our subject and purely numerical values on our right, what do you think we're going to reach for here, guys?
Calculator chat.
It's calculating time. So we got to put inverse tan of 10 over 7.9 in our calculators. Grace.
10.66.
10.66, two more to form a conjecture. Page
5169.
5169. So 10.66, 5169.
I
Harris.
got 5169.
5169. Annabelle.
Oh, 51.
I give up.
51.
Remember that this turns into inverse tan.
Orange. Yeah.
What do we get, Grace?
What did you say?
I don't know. I got it wrong, didn't I?
Come on, try again. We're waiting.
Shut up, Harris.
51.69.
51.69
Or 70.
or
517.
Or 70.
51.7.
That's it.
And that's 1 decimal place. And this one was also 1 decimal place. Now, what did I forget to put?
1 decimal place.
What did I forget to put on my answer here?
The measurement.
The
The
units, degrees. Alright, so guys, in summary, what we've looked at is how we can calculate unknown angles using the trig ratios. First example, we looked at how we rearrange. Then the second one, we looked at how we apply this knowledge on an actual triangle. This is going to be very beneficial because in the coming practical that we have booked in, you're going to need to know how to do these calculations here.
Wait, what?
We've got a practical booked in for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Can I see you guys tomorrow?
Practical.
No.
math chat.
That's a math practical.
What does that mean?
What day is it?
Can you search it up on
I do see you tomorrow. Third lesson.
What is it? What is it?
It's a math practical. It's like science, but it's a prac for math.
But like how can like
Okay. What you guys are going to do for hide that. What you guys are going to do for me is you're going to build your understanding by a bit of repetition. What we have first is rearranging the equations. If you would like, you do not have to do all of those questions in question 1. You can pick 3 of them, check your answers, make sure you know how to apply the knowledge, and then move on. I'll come to you in a sec. After that, it says rearranging trig equations. That's the wrong title. I just didn't update the title. Next, focus, page. You need to move back to your desk. Sophie, back it up like a truck.
What's the trig, sir? That's kind of weird.
Next, you're going to pick 6 of these questions here. Beware, one of them does not work.
There only is 6.
No, there's 9. One of these questions is broken.
What do you mean by breaking?
Think so. Yeah, this one here, guys, is broken. You will not be able to get a sensible answer out of it, so just ignore it. I made a mistake when I labeled it. And then, you can check it if you want, it won't work. And then, questions 3, 4, 5, 6 is where you probably want to be. They're worded questions. They're the application. This is building the skills. This is building application. This is what you would get in the real world using Trig. So if you want to do stuff that's actually useful, you want to get up to the worded stuff. Now, if you need help at all, guys, that's why they pay me to be here. Just ask the people at your desk. If they can't help, put your hand up and ask me over, or ask Renee to come over and give you a hand. Are there any questions? Jacob?
Me, Harris, Jackson, Noah's, Emily, let me give it back.
Why?
I'm gonna
You got a what, sorry?
We're not playing with you.
Oh, nice.
No.
We'll have 2 lessons on it then.
Thank you.
Can I listen to music?